In the beautiful harbour town of Naiafu, in Tonga's Vava'u group of islands, whale watchers from across the South Pacific gathered to attend an historic workshop. Whales Alive and SPREP, the South Pacific Regional Environment Program, joined forces to put on the Whale Watching Operators and Guides Training Workshop. It was the first time that private operators, government representatives, educators and concerned locals had gathered to learn about and discuss the development of whale watching in the region. Participants came from as far afield as Tonga, Niue, Cook Islands, American Samoa, Fiji, New Zealand, Hawaii, Western Samoa and Australia. The waters of Tonga are important to many whale species, including the majestic humpback whale. Each winter the humpback migrates thousands of kilometres from the Antarctic to many South Pacific nations, including Tonga, where they give birth and mate. So Tonga provided the ideal setting for the workshop. The workshop was opened by the Honourable Minister for Lands, Survey and Natural Resources on a warm Tongan evening, with a presentation open to the public. The opening night was a chance for locals to come and see presentations about whales, and there were many questions asked.
In the Tongan waters, a baby humpback whale.
The objectives for the workshop were to train licensed boat operators and their crew in running whale watch trips, to provide a forum for discussion on guidelines and regulations for whale watching in Tonga and the South Pacific, to discuss ideas on tourism and marketing of whale watching, to assess conservation measures needed to support the development of whale watching, to exchange information on whales such as local knowledge and scientific research, to hold a public forum for interested people to learn about whales and whale watching. The training days on the water were blessed with some great humpback whale behaviour, and it provided a perfect training platform. Boat operators and crew were given the opportunity to put the training into action. Boat operators increased their skills on manoeuvring their boats around whales, and crew were given the chance to speak about whales, learning how to be guides on the boat.
We have the dorsal fin, which will be one of the more common features.
There was much discussion on the possible introduction of guidelines and/or regulations for whale watching in Tonga and the South Pacific. Examples of whale watching regulations from Australia, Hawaii and New Zealand were presented. The workshop participants, which included government representatives, drew up a list of possible guidelines. After the workshop, the government of Tonga indicated that regulations would be drawn up for whale watching in their country.
So this workshop was very helpful, giving us knowledge about the migration of the humpback whales, the whale's life. I think that ecotourism would be the best alternative to use whales, and you know, on that we would be able to generate some income and employment for the Tongans.
It's a great spot to have a workshop of this kind, and the training that is done by Mel, Mick and Mike has helped me greatly to appreciate the whales, specifically the humpback whales, and how as an educator I can incorporate what I've learned into my educational programs.
I find myself really into it, and I learned a lot of things from it, and most of it that I never knew about, you know, and to me it was, feels like it's a part of me now. I feel as a Tongan person that it's quite a gift to me, to knowing how these mammals react about boat and people swimming around with them. And I really appreciate it.
This workshop from our perspective has been quite a challenge. It was prepared from a distance and the experience level of the participants is quite varied. And as you know, people have travelled from all over the South Pacific, so we've even had different languages involved. So we didn't really know where we were at until we all got here. So the first day of the workshop was quite exciting. I feel it's, because whale watching is so new to this area, it's been great for people to gather and look at some of the issues around the development of whale watching here.
The workshop agreed that commercial whale watching has many benefits for local communities and provides a basis for education, science and conservation, but noted strongly that any development should proceed with good planning. In the absence of codes of conduct or regulations, it is possible that whale watching could bring new dangers to whales. There is a need to plan ahead if the whale watch industry is not to threaten the very animals it depends upon. The protection of the whales must be the first consideration.